From the coils of a snake, I was born anew. Shadows held me tight, but I slipped right through. Shed my skin like the lies they told. Stepped into the fire where my soul turned gold. I'm rising, rising higher. From the snake to the fire, burning through the night to find my true desire. I'm rising, rising higher into my power, my empire.
Are you feeling the energy beginning to build and beginning to shift as we move into 2026, the year of one, the year of the Chinese astrological sign of the fire horse? Lotus dawn here with blossom with the stars, true to the actual stars, sidereal astrology. And I am just blown away by the shift in energy that we're moving into as we approach 2026. I have to tell you though, we have 2 months until the year of the fire horse begins. And that means we have all of December and all of January remaining before we enter into the fire horse. That means 2 more months of the wood snake. And so I actually put out an offer to all of my subscribers and clients. If you wanted to learn what your numerological year number will be for 2026, simply leave your birth month and day. So your birthday and the month you were born in the chat. And I have been sharing just the incredible energy that your personal year number can provide. Now, numerology is an amazing science that I find to be incredibly accurate to describe not only who we are, but also the energetic of a specific year. And so in order to figure out what a year number will be and what the focus of that year is, you simply add up the year. And so 2025 was the year of 9. 9 is all about letting go. It's all about completion, as in numerology, the numbers go from 1 to 9. And so 9 years represent the closing out of a cycle. And so if you want to get really clear on what last year was all about for you, one, you want to find out what your personal year number was for 2025. And 2, you can simply look back in time to where you were 9 years ago, 2016. And so it's pretty phenomenal. I was actually doing this and I had a huge cognition. And one of the amazing things I've been learning about recently, as much as I love to do energy work and energy clearing and just move on to the positive, life is all about learning lessons, having cognitions, having breakthroughs where we understand, we understand what we were going through. And so one of the most important things for us as we go into 26 is to make sure that we have thoroughly digested what the lessons, the gifts, and the blessings of 2025 were. So I wanted to take some time today to dive into what was 2025 all about, as we have a couple more months of being in the year of the wood snake, which is what 2025 was. We also have a month left of 9 energy, and 9s are all about letting go. Of course, we entered the year of 1 beginning January 1st. So that's going to be a very powerful time, as 1 energy is all about new beginnings. It's all about starting new things. It's all about independence, individuality. It's all about newness. The symbol or the planet associated with 1 is the sun, and in the center is a dot representing the focus of individuality. Now, when you look up individual, you'll find that it means actually much more about our connectedness than our separateness. And so 1 years aren't about being singular. They're all about strengthening our focus and our drive towards a distinct common aim. So it's a really good year. It's the beginning of a 9-year cycle to start new things. If you want to find out what your personal year number for 2026 will be, it will also tell you what your year number for 2025 will be. It will be the number right before it. Simply put in the chat your day of birth and your birth month, and I'll get that information to you. I already have a huge list of people I've been sharing that information to on my Telegram and my YouTube and my Facebook account. And I'm just blown away by how powerful knowing that information can be for setting up your next year and what you want to focus on, what you want to do, and where you want to go. So tonight, the focus is to help give us a greater understanding of what was 2025 all about and where are we going for 2026. So in order to dive in, we have to go back. We have to go back into the energy of the Chinese wood snake. We have to dive into what 2025 has been all about so that we can properly move forwards as we hit 2026 and we hit February, which is the beginning of the year of the Chinese Astrology fire horse, which is all about rising. It's all about new energy. It's all about light and shining and stepping forwards into our path and our purpose. And so let's get ready for that. What has 2025 been all about? What have been the lessons and the blessings that we've been learning? And how can we take that information to go forward? So I'm going to share screen here. And we're going to dive into what the year of the wood snake has been all about as we have a couple more months left from now until February to really dive into this energy. And the wood snake, if you look at it here, represents so many things. One thing being transformation, the power of shedding the old. And if you think about the fact that 2025 numerologically adds up to a 9, it's been a year all about letting go of the old, shedding our skin. The snake is the ultimate alchemist. And if you think about it in a purely physical sense, about what the snake eats or how the snake digests its food, it literally takes like a rat or a mouse and swallows it whole. And the power of the snake's ability to digest can take that whole animal and turn it into a food source, dissolve it, transmute it, transform it from a live being into food. And we do that too, right? We take a bite of food and we chew it up and we digest it. But a snake does it in kind of a big way. And so one of the big symbolic representations of what 2025 has been all about has been digesting old energies, thoughts, feelings, and emotions from our past, from the past 9 years. And so I want to invite everyone to think back to where were you 9 years ago? Because wherever you were 9 years ago is going to play a part in where you're going in 2026, as in, and here's the big question, have you thoroughly processed, digested, alchemized, interpreted, understood what you needed to process from 9 years ago? Because if you have not addressed it, if you have not faced it, it will come forwards with you into 2026. And so that's really why I'm making this video, because I know that we all want to run forwards into the year of the fire horse, and we just want to have fun and we want to enjoy ourselves and we want to step into that new rhythm. But before we can do that, it's important to address what have we been learning and are we ready to move forwards? And so 2025, of course, was the year of the wood snake. And so what does that mean? Ram Dass says that our whole spiritual transformation brings us to the point where we realize that our own being, we are enough. And so what is the point of transformation? What is the point of letting go? What is the point of alchemizing? I truly see it as a process that brings us into deeper alignment with who we really are. It's a process of letting go of all the stuff that is in the way of us being who we are. And by doing so, we become so much stronger, so much more connected, so much more us. Okay, so year of the wood snake. What will this mean? So wood can mean upward rising, new growth, new opportunities. Snake is all about transformation, wisdom, secrets being explored. And feel free to share in the chat what your experience of 2025 has been. What have you been alchemizing? What have you been transforming? And if you think back to 9 years ago, do you have an idea of what cycle after this 9 years that you may be closing out, right? What are you finishing up? What is the project? What is the focus that you had 9 years ago that you are now transmuting and transforming? So like a tree growing upward in the spring, wood represents springtime. The emotion that wood can be when imbalanced is anger. Okay, and so with it having been a wood snake, there could have been issues with anger or aggression or arrogance or overthinking, right? So one of the most important things for this last year, 2025, is that we've needed to assist ourselves by balancing and controlling our emotions through meditation, yoga, or Tai Chi. And so this last year has been about lifting and rising up. But it's been also about shedding our skin, transmuting, transforming, right? The year of the snake is associated with transformation, renewal, personal growth. It encourages individuals to shed negativity and embrace new beginnings. So all of last year has been about shedding all the stuff that doesn't serve us, right? The people, the places, the emotions, the old stuck energies. How have you been doing with letting go of the things that don't serve you? Has it been a big process, right? Some of you may be tired and exhausted from 2025, from clearing out so many things. But some of the benefits of the snake is that it connected us to gifts of primordial wisdom and mystical abilities. Now, what I think is incredibly magical about diving into the energy of the snake, and the fact that I think that right now could be the apex of 2025 and the process of transformation that it is representing, relates to the fact that right now, tonight, on December 10th, we currently have tons of planets in the 13th sign of Ophiuchus, which is the sign of transformation. It's the sign of energy alchemy. It's the sign of wisdom that we attain through energetic awareness. It's powerful energy. So let's dive into, let's check out the actual sky so I can show you really, really amazing energy with all these planets in Ophiuchus. You know, some of you might not be familiar with Ophiuchus. Ophiuchus is the 13th sign that was added into the constellational wheel, and it was actually cut off of the zodiacal wheel during the time of the Babylonian era. Okay, so they knew about Ophiuchus, and Ophiuchus is known as the snake tamer. And so tonight, we actually have a ton of planets. The sun is in Ophiuchus. So if you were born on December 10th, if in fact you were born from November 30th to December 19th, you are in fact in Ophiuchus. And I just think it's so powerful. Here we sit. The last 2 months of the year of the wood snake, I've been working all year to figure out, okay, show me the energy universe. Show me what I need to know. I think it's here. I think this could be the moment where all the work of 2025 that we've been doing, transforming, feeling, clearing, focusing, setting new intentions, the awareness is coming up to the light. So let's go check this out. Let's go to Stellarium. Let's go to the actual sky, and let's check out what's going on up there. Okay. So here we have Ophiuchus, the 13th sign, also known as the snake tamer. You actually see a man holding a snake. And we currently have the sun, Venus, and Mars all in Ophiuchus. What does that mean? Okay, the sun is how we shine. The sun is our identity. It's the soul. It's our brightness. It's our power. And Venus, of course, is love. It's money. It's the billionaire planet. Mars is action and masculinity. And so we have the sun right in the middle of the masculine and the feminine, right in Ophiuchus, the 13th sign, the snake tamer. And this sign is actually conjunct the galactic center, which is right here. You can see it. It's in the center of the Milky Way. Let's see, what can we find the galactic center here? Related to Sagittarius A star. Sagittarius A star, of course, is home to 4 supermassive black holes right here. And so the sun is actually almost as close as it's going to get to the galactic center. And I often call the galactic center the womb of creation. And so this is an incredibly powerful time for intention setting and manifestation setting. It's almost like having access to the womb of creation. So this is the most powerful dream building time of the entire year. And I just find it phenomenal that we're here in the year of the wood snake. We're in the last 2 months of the wood snake. And so, you know, they often say it's always darkest before the dawn. You could be in that space right now as we prepare for the year of the fire horse, which is such a different energy, where the wood snake is all about mystery and hidden things and going very, very deep and transformational energy. The fire horse is all about fun and expression and advancement and creative energy. And so it's just such an entirely different focus. So let's dive into a little bit more about what Ophiuchus is all about so we can better understand this connection between being in the last 2 months of the wood snake and Ophiuchus energy and what Ophiuchus energy is. Okay, this is very exciting. So what is Ophiuchus energy? So we've talked about the snake. We've talked about it relating to wisdom, relating to transformation, related to shedding our skin, that 2025 was a year that we really were asked to go very, very deep into our own lives, into our own reality. What do we need to shift? What do we need to transform? What do we need to transmute? You know, and some people compare the snake to what is called Kundalini energy, and that there's actually 2 channels, the Sushumna Nadi, that travels up the spine and meets at the pineal gland, pituitary. And it's the divine feminine and masculine polarity within us, and that the snake represents us learning to master this energy. Of course, you can use meditation, you can use pranic practices, you can also use sexual alchemy. It's a very powerful, you know, we don't often talk about sexuality, we don't often talk about transmuting sexual energy, but that's this time. That's what the snake energy really is asking us to tune into. Okay, and this picture is incredibly powerful because it shows the relationship between the feminine and masculine energies in our own body and how they connect to the chakras and how we can actually raise them up higher and meet to the Kundalini. Okay, and so these practices, sexual alchemy, sexual tantra, these practices have been hidden for thousands of years from mainstream people. And at this time on the world stage, with the sun and Ophiuchus and Venus, the sign of the divine goddess, and Mars on either side of Ophiuchus, this is a powerful time to be tapping back into those sacred, secret practices, especially as we are at the end of the year of the snake, which is all about wisdom. It's all about transmutation. And that brings us back to Ophiuchus and the fact the sun is in Ophiuchus right now, Venus is in Ophiuchus, Mars is in Ophiuchus. And Ophiuchus I often call the guardian of the galactic center. And I think it's really the guardian of the sacred knowledge of sacred sexuality, sacred energy transmutation, sacred energy practices, there are so many sacred practices that are not released to the general public. And when the sun and Venus and Mars are all in this sign, it's a very powerful time to learn these practices, right? The Ophiuchus is the ancient holder of secrets. It's the balance of the yin yang, the master of transformation. It is ruled by the sign of ether. And it's a very, very, very powerful, powerful energy, right? So, if anyone is live here and wants to jump on or has any questions, please feel free to write them in the chat. I like to jump on here so that I can be with you guys and answer any questions that might be coming up for you. And one of the big things I put out into the collective recently was, hey, do you want to find out what your year number, your numerological year number is in 2026? So if you have questions about that, you're welcome. I may do a section at the end of this video where I kind of answer questions. And so if that's you, please feel free to enter into the chat, and I'm happy to share insights or information for you, any questions you may have. Okay, so going forwards here, Ophiuchus energy, right? We're in the last 2 months of the year of the snake. We have the sun, Venus, and Mars all in Ophiuchus. This is the symbol of the snake goes back to ancient Greek mythology. And it actually is often talked about when you hear about the amazing channeling that happened, the Oracle of Delphi. The snake is often represented as one of the symbols, where a woman would actually sit over a hole in the earth and fumes from deep in the earth would rise up to the surface, and it would put her into a trance state that people would travel thousands of miles, come from all over Greece to hear her message. And so the snake is this sacred symbol associated with the Kundalini rising, associated with the great secret mysteries that have been kept hidden. And it actually goes back to the origins of the being known as Ophiuchus. And Ophiuchus was also known as Asclepius. And many people haven't even heard about Asclepius. And he was known as a great healer. In fact, his symbol was the snake. He had several daughters: Hygeia, health; Lasso, medicine; Aso, healing; Algaea, healthy glow; and Panacea, the universal remedy. He was the son of Apollo and Coronis. And the story goes that he had to be raised by a centaur, and in fact, he was raised by the great centaur Chiron. And he was taught all the secrets of medicine. And so he was traveling the land as a practicing doctor, helping to heal people. And so there's a really great connection between Ophiuchus and healing ability. And there's actually this connotation with Ophiuchus, the sun in Ophiuchus, of miracles, the possibility of miracles. Because in the story of Asclepius, in which Ophiuchus is named after, they actually found that there was more he didn't know. He was actually able to tap into the energy of miracles. So one day, the story goes, he's out walking the land, sharing healing and miracles with the world, going forth and healing people. And he comes across a snake. He takes his staff and he hits the snake. It kills the snake. And he's a little upset. He didn't mean to kill the snake. It was an accident. And he's bewildered to see that another snake comes slithering along and actually gives that snake herbs. And those herbs actually revive the snake, bring it back to life. And Ophiuchus is sitting there, Asclepius Ophiuchus, the same person, different name, looking at this going, oh my God. So he goes up to the snake and he says, can you tell me how you brought the other snake back to life? And of course, being a Greek legend, he did. And so what he found is that he found the secret of mortality. He found the secret of immortality and of how to bring people back to life. And so he went all over ancient Greece, giving people the remedy so that they didn't die. And this actually got him into a lot of trouble with the ancient Greek gods, Zeus and the god of the underworld, Hades, because nobody was dying anymore. And I think it's important and powerful to note the similarity right now between this figure, Asclepius Ophiuchus, and Jesus. Because Asclepius Ophiuchus, same person, different name, could bring people back from the dead. His father was the god of the sun. And he ends up, because he's causing all these issues, he's bringing people back from the dead, he ends up being persecuted. And Zeus, the king of the gods, actually throws a lightning bolt and kills him. And so he's killed because of his power and because of his abilities, which also speaks to one of the great challenges that people have as Ophiuchus. Where am I? Okay. Oh yeah, so here's, what happened here? Okay, so yeah, let's just tell the story of Ophiuchus. Okay. So he was killed because of his abilities. Now, have any of you ever seen the caduceus? The symbol here? This was known as Asclepius's symbol. So Asclepius is really the ancient figure that the caduceus was based off of. He is the hero or story that our entire medical industry is based off of. Interesting. And in fact, to this day, when they say the Hippocratic Oath, when doctors here in the United States and perhaps other places swear the Hippocratic Oath, right? They swear to practice good medicine and to uphold the Hippocratic Oath. This is amazing. So here's the Hippocratic Oath. They still swear by Asclepius. I swear by Apollo the physician and Asclepius and health and all heal and all the gods and goddesses that according to my ability and judgment, I will keep this oath and this stipulation. And this is part of the Hippocratic Oath. And so this all goes back to Ophiuchus, this story and this connection to medicine, which I find absolutely amazing. And so just to dial in the story of Asclepius just a little bit better, because I just find it pretty incredible. How does it go? Okay, so in Greek myth, Ophiuchus was said to depict the god Apollo wrestling the snake guarding the oracle of Delphi. And so it's all about wrestling with the darkness. Ophiuchus represents us wrestling with, Ophiuchus represents the light, right? What is Apollo? Apollo is the light. What is the snake? The snake is danger, right? It's potentially a guardian of some kind. And Ophiuchus wrestles that snake and protects. So Delphi was an ancient precinct considered to be the center of the world. And this is where people came to hear oracles and channel information. And so the snake was one of the very first symbols of that location. And so here is the legend of Ophiuchus. I'll start at the beginning. So here is Apollo. This is supposedly the father of Ophiuchus, the god of the sun. And he got with Coronis, and they conceived Ophiuchus. But his mom, Cronus, died. And so Apollo gave Ophiuchus to Chiron to teach him, to raise him, who was a great centaur, who knew all the wisdom of the plants and the herbs and of the healing arts. And so young Asclepius, young Ophiuchus, learned about all of the medicinal plants and healing benefits of nature. And so he went out into the world. Then he had his encounter with the snake. He killed the snake on accident. The other snake came, brought that snake back to life. He learned the secret of immortality. He learned how to bring people who've died back to life, right? And this is very similar to the story of Jesus. And this is actually one of the sacred temples built to honor Ophiuchus, built to honor Asclepius. And people would come from all over the world. He was the god of medicine and healing, son of the god Apollo. He raised the dead from their grave using the blood of Medusa. He was struck dead by lightning, and he was the healer that the Hippocratic Oath is based off of. So that's the story of Asclepius, one of the very old ancient stories about Ophiuchus. And I think it's so powerful that here we are in the last couple of months of the year of the snake. And so going into the energetic of what Asclepius was all about. Healing. Not just any type of healing, but miraculous healing. Being able to bring yourself back from the dead. And so if you're going through a dark night of the soul, or if you went through one in 2025, year of 9, year of completion, year of clearing out and cleaning out and transmuting and transforming, you're not alone. That's what the entire collective has been put through, is this deep transformational journey to go deep within and to find the secret, sacred healing powers of Ophiuchus that the sun is now in right now. The power of life over death, right? So, so powerful. Okay, and so here we go, getting into Ophiuchus. Now there's another side to the snake, and there's another side to Ophiuchus, which is the reclaiming of the feminine. And some say that the designation of the serpent bearer as male ignored the female snake called Pythonis officina. Her role as the 13th constellation reminds us of the natural 13 lunar months of healing and fertility. And so there's this big debate, right? We have this story of Asclepius and as Ophiuchus, the great Greek physician who brought people back from dead, representing Jesus. But we also have the energy of the divine feminine, and that Ophiuchus represents the divine feminine rising back into her power. They say that the original symbol of Ophiuchus was a woman wrestling with a giant serpent, which is the symbol used in the medical field today, known as the serpent bearer. The energy of the snake is used as a symbol of healing throughout many cultures of the world, and it's known as goddess wisdom, often related to our healing ability as women. So what are core archetypes and themes of Ophiuchus? One, generally having healing abilities, right? Noticing what needs to be healed within family lines. It can sometimes feel like a healer's burden, like it's an honor to be able to do it, but it takes a lot of time, effort, and energy, and your heart truly has to be in it. Sometimes when we're in the time of the sun being in Ophiuchus, or we carry a lot of Ophiuchus energy in our astrological charts, this can be a time where we tap into very deep, advanced knowledge of self, ancestral lineage, and cultural roots. It's also a time where we're really being invited to reconnect to our spiritual side for both ourselves and others. And it can also be really powerful for working with elements, learning the power of alchemy, connecting to angels, sound healing frequencies, ability to see through and into people, being able to see clear beginnings of life and ending. But some shadow sides of the snake can be trickery, hiding knowledge, using power for selfish purposes, elaborate schemes that play on people's psychology. And so there's both a dark side and a bright side of the snake and of Ophiuchus energy, and for people who are carrying that divine lineage. Now, some people say that the real sacred knowledge of Ophiuchus, or Asclepius, the 13th sign, relates to Jesus and his potential relationship to Mary Magdalene, and that the taming of the snake represents the taming of our sexual energy. And some say that Jesus and Mary Magdalene were actually married and had children, and that they used sexual alchemy to assist Jesus in attaining his miraculous abilities to actually even bring people back from the dead. And they say that the chalice, the holy chalice of Jesus, actually represented the divine womb of Mary Magdalene, and that the secret that the Catholic Church has been hiding for thousands of years is that Mary Magdalene actually gave birth to the child of Christ, and that their children are the secret that the Knights of the Templar have been trying to protect, that the truth of Mary Magdalene and Jesus having a relationship and having children and having a bloodline that still exists to this day is why the Cathars, who were the ancient religious sect in France, were killed, because they had many of the descendants within them, and they knew that Jesus was married, that he had practiced sacred sexuality, that Mary Magdalene was actually his partner and actually taught with him and was the one designated after his passing to take his teachings onwards. And so to me, one of the things that Ophiuchus energy represents is, one, the deep wound within women, and really for both men and women, of having our sacred sexuality for thousands of years being suppressed by the Catholic Church as impure or indecent or sinful. Whereas the truth, right, that Jesus taught was that this was actually a pure, beautiful path to higher wisdom, higher knowledge, and spirituality. And so, the snake can be found in so many cultures. It is such a powerful symbol of transmutation and transformation, and being able to transform energy from one state into another. And it represents the power of the human body to create miracles, the power of our energy field to create amazing transformation. When you look at the spinal column, and you look at the caduceus, and you look at the energy going up the spinal column, there's such an incredible connection. And so this is a really powerful time with the sun and Ophiuchus, with Venus and Mars all in Ophiuchus, to practice energy alchemy, whether that's through meditation, whether that's through yoga. I think movement is really important right now. I haven't been getting enough of it over the last several months, and I finally got outside and did a yoga stretching sequence out in nature, and it was so amazing, especially to flex and move the spine. And so one of the things that's been coming to me with the sun and Venus and Mars all in Ophiuchus is the importance and power of moving your spinal column and getting the energy of it flowing, so doing things like cat-cow, or anything else that can kind of bring lubrication and movement to this powerful channel of energy and life force that runs up our spine. And so, this is such a powerful year. So many blessings on the snake year. It is a shedding skin year for humanity. And so there's this beautiful poem I came across that just felt so right. I dreamt of the heart. I saw it in the middle of the jungle. And in the vision, when I approached to watch its pulsation, I saw that in truth a serpent coiled in the shape of a heart, capable of both taking life and giving it. I was in the jungle and I looked within. I stumbled over its roots. I got lost in its aroma, entangled in its green, and I fell forever into its sounds, only to find myself in its song, playing with mine. What other voice is there to hear in the jungle? What else to do but fill the heart with the air and the vacuum of the only thing you truly are? Constant breath. With the silence of its sound, I dreamt of the heart. I saw it in the middle of the jungle. And in the vision, when I approached to watch its pulsation, I saw that it was in truth a serpent coiled in the shape of a heart, capable of both taking life and giving it. To die is to be reborn into a new state. To understand this is to begin to live. To experience this is to transcend life and death. That which you fear holds the key to the deepest mystery. And so that really, to me, speaks to the apex of what 2025 has been about facing our deepest fear, facing the deepest darkness within us, and learning to transmute it, learning to bring our consciousness, our awareness, and our light into those deepest passageways, and to transform. The act or an instance of transforming, the state of being transformed, a marked change as an appearance or character, usually for the better, right? For your spiritual transformation, awaken your magnificent self. And so here we've been in this bubble of 2025, feeling isolated, feeling like full of just going through so many transformations. And the beauty of this is that next year, we're going to break out of the bubble, especially as we head into February 2026, when we begin the year of the Chinese fire horse. Okay, and so we're going from the deep, dark, inner mystery of the fire horse, and we're going into, the deep, dark mystery of the wood snake, and we're going into the year of the fire horse. Okay, and so if you're interested, if you want to know what it's not only the year of the fire horse, but it's the year of the one in numerology. And what is the one? If you think about the one, the symbol for the one is actually the sun. And in the symbol of the sun itself is a circle with a dot right in the middle of it. And so it really relates to shining, being our brightest, most beautiful self. So I'm actually going to read my Facebook posts that I made about this, because I really was tapping in and tuning into what the year of the fire horse is going to be about. And I think it will be helpful here to tune into that. So I'm just going to share screen, and we're just going to read my posts. And if you have any shares or anything you want to say, please feel free to comment in the chat. Okay, so here we go. So we're going to open this up. See some friends there. So I said, let's see. There we go. Let's see. Okay. Are you feeling the shift? We are preparing to make a big leap from 2025, which has been a 9-year, numerologically, the wood snake in Chinese astrology, which we just went over for about an hour, to a numerological 1 fire horse in 2026. This is a huge shift. Last year, 2025, was a numerological year of 9, year of the wood snake. 9 years in numerology are all about completion, letting go, and finishing cycles. 9 years are the completion of a 9-year cycle and represent the completion of the last 9 years. If you really want to understand what 2025 has been about, tune into where was I in 2016, 9 years ago? What cycle am I completing that may have begun 9 years back? What intention did I start 9 years ago? 9 years ask us to confront, feel, and face all the stuff that has been suppressed or hidden, not dealt with over the last 9 years. 9s are the clearinghouse years. They are the make room years. They clear out. They force us to feel, to clean out, to heal, to tune deeper into compassion for self and others. 9s are preparing us for a new beginning. Whew, oh my gosh, just brush yourself off here, tuning into all of that energy, because it's a real lot, and God, was it such a big year for this. And the year of the wood snake, which I just went through, it's all about internal processes, shedding our skin, transformation, magic. It's a time where we're asked to confront, to transform, to let go, to surrender, to allow, to go with the flow. Crying tears, facing fears, transforming the dark night of the soul. That's what 2025 has been all about. And now we're heading into, beginning on January 1st, 2026 will be the year of 1. 1 is the sun. It's shining. It's sharing our light. 1s are new beginnings, the start of a new 9-year cycle. And it's also the year of the yang fire horse. Fire is upward rising energy. It's hot. It creates massive energy. It brings passion to light. The year of the horse in Chinese astrology represents charging forward, socializing, fun, learning and growing, movement, traveling. It's a great year next year to start new projects, to travel, create, communicate, learn new things. It's full of action and new beginnings. Time to start the party. Okay. And that will begin, the year of the fire horse begins February 26th. So from January, when we begin the year of 1, we leave the 9 behind. Woohoo! We go into the year of the fire horse starting in February. And so I asked everyone, would you like to know what your personal year number is for 2026? So I've told you that 2025 was the year of 9, right? And now we're heading into the year of 1, which is the year of new beginnings. And so everyone has not only what the collective year number is, but you also have what is your individual year number. And so if you would like to find out what that is, you can actually right now, if you're watching this live or you come across the recording, go ahead and put the day you were born and the month. And if you catch me live, I'll actually tell you about it live here on air. So you just put your birthday and your month in the comments, and I can share with you your personal year number. And this is incredibly powerful because it can tell you a lot more about what 2026 for you as an individual is going to be all about. And it's such a big transition that we're going through, because we're going through the year of the fire, the wood snake, right? That deep transformational energy I was talking about, to the fire horse, which is just charging ahead. And they're just complete opposites, complete polarity, right? It's just fascinating. So go ahead, if you're watching this live and you want to know what your personal year number is for 2026, go ahead and write in the chat now what your day you were born is and what your month number is. And I can share with you what this year will be about for you. Okay. Meanwhile, if you don't want to share your information, I'm going to share in the chat. I've been writing up for people what the year number will mean for them on my Telegram channel. So if you want to go there and take a look, that could be fun. And so I'm going to go over what specific year numbers can mean. So I've already written this out, so it's going to be easy to share. So I'm just going into my Telegram channel. If you have not joined my Telegram channel, you got to get on there, because I leave so many updates for people that I don't share here on Facebook. So I'll leave the link for that. Okay, so many of you left your birthday. I have some work to do getting back to all of you. But yeah, let's go through. Let's talk about what each individual year number will mean for people. Okay, so Marcy, you shared your birthday February 4th. And so your personal year number is going to be a 7. And so when it's a personal year number of 7, it's a year that's focused on spirituality, connection to source, internal connection. People who are 7s, or people who are going through a year 7, need to take more time to go within, replenish, connect with the divine. And so for you, a personal year number of 7 causes us to lean deeper into our spiritual gifts. Okay, so if you want to know more about this, go ahead and type your birthday and your month number into the chat, and I will write that information for you. I would love to hear your experience of diving deep into the year of 2025, the year of the wood snake, and many cognitions that have come to you about lessons you have learned that will better prepare you for diving into 2026, the year of the fire horse. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to jump back on and actually go through many of the write-ups that I've done for people about what 2026 is going to be like. And then so my next video, I will share with you what each number, what each personal year number may mean for you. So if you want to hear about that, stay tuned. And I just send you all so much love and light. It's a really powerful time. And you may be feeling the shift, you may be feeling the energy. It's a great time to tap into your potential, your power, what you want to create in the future. It's a really good time to go within, to dream build, and to set your intentions for what you're going to create in 2026. So sending you all lots of love, and I'll talk to you soon. Aloha.
Uh-huh. From the coils of a snake, I was born anew. Shadows held me tight, but I slipped right through. Shed my skin like the lies they told. Stepped into the fire where my soul turned gold. I'm rising, rising higher. From the snake to the fire, burning through the night to find my true desire. I'm rising, rising higher into my power, my empire. My empire. The horse is wild, it runs through my veins, galloping forward, breaking old chains. Ashes behind me, but I don't look back. A trail of flames cutting through the black. Feeling it now, the pull inside. The fire calls, the snake won't hide. Feeling now, the pull inside. The fire calls, the snake won't hide. I'm rising, rising higher. From the snake to the fire, burning through the night to find my true desire. I'm rising, rising higher into my power, my empire. What am I here for? I finally see, to build a world that's wild and free. Each step I take, a phoenix cry. I'm the fire horse, I'm meant to fly.